Hey, how's it going? Chris Taylor here from Afternoons on Country 96, and another edition of the Artist Lounge. Today, my special guest, Kasey Lansdale.
Hey,
and I know I just asked you this, so I didn't screw it up like 3 seconds ago, but how do you say your hometown in Texas again?
Nacogdoches, Texas.
All right. Anytime we got to bring that up, she is saying it. I also got her guitar player here as well.
Nathan,
yeah. I'm terrible with names, but I remembered that one. No, thank you guys so much for being with us. Going around the country. And what was it like growing up in East Texas?
Oh, it was great. I mean, my family's there, all my cousins, obviously my parents, my brother, and there was nothing like going outside and having the woods and the creek and lots of greenery. A lot of people, when they think Texas, they automatically think of West Texas, but I'm in East Texas, so I'm right on the border. So lots of water, lots of tromping around in the woods, but. It was always something that was a lot of fun, the neighborhoods. I love it. I love the South.
And Nathan, where'd you grow up at?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville.
The only guy actually from Nashville.
Yeah. So it kind of works out for you. You got music in your blood then, just growing up in, Music City. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So now how did you get your start in music?
Oh man, I've been singing for as long as I can remember. It was always something that I wanted to do in one way or another. I just wasn't sure exactly what that would look like. But I remember, talking about growing up in East Texas, I remember being little and I would write, direct, and act in plays and get all the neighborhood kids. And we'd be putting on musicals on the porch for our parents. And so I always knew it was something I wanted. And then fast forward some odd years later, and now I've got this album out and I've been out working that. And it's called Restless, so that's aptly named, let me tell you. It's just something that made sense. I come from a creative family. My father's an author. I ended up doing a lot of writing. So when I go from the writing world to the songwriting world, and it's just something that sort of feeds one another.
Awesome. Now, kind of what gave you your background in country blues?
Well, my parents are big music people. They're not musical, but they love music, and they love the arts in general. My mother would listen to classical music. She'd listen to classic rock. My father would listen to Motown, sort of the classic country. So I got a whole broad spectrum of musical influence that sort of melded into my country blues sound.
Gotcha. Now, Nathan, on the same note, how did you kind of get in with music growing up in Music City?
Dude, I grew up in a pretty musical family. My dad played in bands around, so I just picked up his guitars and started playing it myself. So it was just always around the house, so I just kind of started that way. It's kind of it was natural for us to kind of pick up music. It kind of just happened.
So now you talked about your album Restless. Which was actually produced by John Carter Cash. How cool was that?
So cool. And he's a great, great guy. Just as a human being, he's not only just Johnny and June's son, but he's a Grammy Award winner. He's got a great ear. He's also a very talented fiction writer, which is why we ended up meeting and kind of having a lot to talk about with sort of creative parents and sort of just that passion for things that, music and writing. And we worked really hard on this project, and I think that it shows the heart that we put into it.
Now I want to go back. You said you mentioned meeting John Carter Cash through writing. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, he wrote a book called Lupus Rex, and he's a very good writer. He's written several things. That's the one that is his most recent. And they had sent his novel to my father for a quote. And my father read it and he said, "Oh, look, this guy has the same name as Johnny and June's son. How funny." And inside of it said, if you like the book, give me a call. Of course, my dad loved it, passed it to me. I loved it. He called him, and it turned out it was John Carter Cash. And he said, well, if you're ever in Nashville or, want to meet up, let me know. He said, well, my daughter lives there. And so we ended up going and just kind of hanging out, and we became friends. And I was working with another company at the time, so we just kept in touch as friends. And when that contract expired with that company, I had all these songs, and I said, well, now what do I do? He said, why don't you come out to the cabin, and the rest is history.
You guys mind playing me a tune?
Absolutely.
What you got in mind?
There's a song on the album called Foolin' Around, and it's a song that, like I say, the CD just came out a few months ago, and I've been on the road for that touring. And this song ended up being in a major motion picture called Cold in July.
Okay.
And so we got to go to Cannes, France, and Sundance, and next month I'm going to Torino, Italy. So I'll play the song that when everybody rushes out to see that film, or buys it, I think it goes out on iTunes and Netflix and all those things, they can hear this song in the background.
All right, sounds good. All right, take it away, guys.
Around.
first base. And that lover's moon is sure shining bright, hanging there giving you a big green light. Don't make me wait. Don't hesitate. Pick up the pace. Quit fooling around. Baby, get with it. Sitting around ain't gonna get it. Lay off the brakes and make your move. Am I gonna have to spell it out for you? Get it in gear, boy, the night is wasting. Get over here. Let's get to making love, sweet love. Quit fooling around and get down to fooling around. Whoa, oh. I can understand you're a little bit shy. Don't wanna come off as the kind of guy who moves too fast. Well, baby, I like that. And I like just sitting here talking to you. But there's other stuff we can do besides just chat. If you're up for that, then don't hold back with fooling around. Baby, get with it, sitting around ain't gonna get it. Lay off the brakes and make your move. Am I gonna have to spell it out for you? Get it in gear, boy, the night is wasting. Get over here, let's get to making love, sweet love. Quit fooling around and get down to fooling around. If you're waiting on the perfect time and place, what about right here, right now? You and me together could only get better. Boy, if you wanna find out. Quit fooling around, baby, get with it. Sitting around ain't gonna get it. Lay off the brakes and make your move. Am I gonna have to spell it out for you? Get it in gear, boy, the night is wasting. Get over here, let's get to making love, sweet love. Quit fooling around and get down to fooling around. Oh, oh, quit fooling around and get down to fooling around.
Very nice, very nice. Really enjoyed that song. You know, you can really tell the blues influence on your guys' music as well. That was really cool. I'm a big fan of the blues myself. So.
Oh, awesome.
So, I mean, is there a big story behind that song or anything? Or?
Well, the writing it part, no. I mean, we were actually sitting around and we were talking about the process, and I was listening to a lot of Amy Winehouse at the time.
Oh, okay.
And that was sort of, somehow, that's all I remember. We were having a conversation about Amy Winehouse, and it spawned into that, which to me is not even close to the most bluesy sort of sound I have on there. But that one turned out, like I say, being in that film, and so the story after is much cooler than the story before.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being with me. The name of your new album, Restless.
Restless.
It's out now, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's on iTunes, Rhapsody, Spotify, all those places. My website, of course.
And your website is?
KaseyLansdale.com, KaseyLansdale.com. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'd love to hear from everybody and let them know they heard me here in Mexico, Missouri.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being with us once again. It's another edition of the Country 96 Artist Lounge.